Before we begin, imagine a Wild West, where one fearless Apache woman challenged a shy cowboy with a single unforgettable sentence. And what happened next changed both of their lives forever. If you enjoy emotional frontier stories filled with courage, honor, and unexpected friendship, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Now, let's ride into today's incredible story. The dusty plains of Arizona Territory stretched endlessly beneath the blazing summer sun in the year 1884. Dust drifted through the narrow streets of a small frontier town where ranchers, traders, and travelers gathered every afternoon. Wagons creaked across the road while horses waited patiently outside the general store. Life in the Wild West was never easy, but the townspeople had grown used to hardship and surprises. Even so, everything stopped when a tall Apache woman appeared at the edge of town. Conversations faded into silence as every eye turned toward the mysterious stranger who walked with calm confidence despite the difficult journey written across her tired face. Her name was Ayanna, and she stood taller than nearly every man in the settlement. She wore a traditional Apache outfit that showed the signs of long travel, while her dark braided hair rested across her shoulders. Though exhausted, her posture remained proud, refusing to let suffering steal her dignity. Months of wandering had taught her to survive without expecting kindness from strangers. Some people stared with curiosity, while others whispered unfair rumors simply because she was different. Ayanna ignored every judgmental glance. She had learned long ago that true strength came from silence, patience, and believing in herself, even when the world refused to understand her. Standing near the horse trough was Ethan Brooks, a quiet young cowboy known throughout the valley for his honesty rather than his strength. Unlike the loud ranch hands who constantly boasted about their courage, Ethan preferred hard work and peaceful living on his small ranch outside town. He noticed the tired expression hidden behind Ayanna's fearless appearance. While others laughed or pointed, Ethan simply removed his hat as a sign of respect. Their eyes met for a brief moment, and Ayanna sensed something unusual in him. He carried no hatred, no fear, and no desire to impress the crowd gathered around them. A playful smile appeared on Ayanna's face as she looked directly at the shy cowboy. With a confident voice that echoed across the street, she jokingly said, "I'm hungry for a real man." The unexpected remark shocked everyone. Within seconds, the street filled with loud laughter as several cowboys nudged Ethan, expecting him to blush, argue, or walk away in embarrassment. Instead, Ethan smiled politely before answering in a calm voice, "A real man proves himself with kindness, not loud words." His simple response silenced the crowd. Almost instantly, even those who had laughed moments earlier found themselves unable to mock him any longer. For the first time in many months, Ayanna felt genuine respect instead of suspicion. She realized Ethan had answered with honesty instead of pride, and that impressed her far more than any show of strength. Without another word, Ethan invited her to join him for a warm meal at his ranch, explaining that every traveler deserved food and rest after a difficult journey. Ayanna accepted the invitation, curious to learn more about the quiet cowboy who valued compassion above reputation. As they rode away from the town together, neither of them realized that this chance meeting would become the beginning of a remarkable Wild West story remembered for generations. When Ayanna arrived at Ethan Brooks's small ranch, she remained alert and cautious. Her years on the frontier had taught her that appearances could be deceiving, and kindness was often followed by betrayal. Instead of treating her like a prisoner or an unwanted visitor, Ethan welcomed her with quiet respect. He tied his horse, opened the cabin door, and invited her inside without asking uncomfortable questions. A warm fire burned in the stone fireplace, filling the room with comfort. Ethan prepared fresh bread, beans, roasted venison, and clean water. It was a simple meal, but it was offered with genuine generosity, something Ayana had not experienced in a very long time. As they shared supper, Ethan listened far more than he spoke. Ayana slowly began telling the story of her life. She explained how conflict had scattered her family across the Arizona territory and how many members of her tribe had disappeared during difficult years of hardship. She admitted that surviving alone had forced her to become stronger than most people could imagine. Then she smiled and confessed that her bold words in town had been nothing more than a playful test. She wanted to see whether Ethan would respond with arrogance or kindness. His calm answer had convinced her that he was a man worthy of trust and respect. The following sunrise brought unexpected danger. Before breakfast was finished, the sound of galloping horses echoed across the valley. Ethan stepped onto the porch and saw 4 armed outlaws riding toward the ranch. Their leader shouted that a reward had been offered for capturing the Apache woman and demanded that Ethan hand her over immediately. Fear briefly crossed Ethan's face, but he refused to move aside. Standing firmly between the outlaws and his guest, he declared that no innocent person would ever be sold from his land. His voice remained steady, despite knowing the criminals greatly outnumbered him. Ayana quietly stepped beside Ethan instead of hiding inside the cabin. She had no intention of letting another person risk everything for her alone. The outlaws charged forward, believing they could frighten the rancher with threats. Instead, Ethan defended his home with remarkable courage, while Ayana used her speed, intelligence, and years of survival experience to outsmart the attackers. Working together, they forced the criminals to retreat without allowing hatred to guide their actions. The defeated riders disappeared into the distant desert, realizing they had underestimated both the quiet cowboy and the fearless Apache woman standing beside him. As peace returned to the ranch, Ethan and Ayana understood that something important had changed between them. Their bond had been built not through promises, but through actions during a moment of real danger. Trust replaced suspicion, and respect replaced fear. Neighbors soon heard how a humble cowboy had protected an Apache traveler simply because it was the right thing to do. The story spread from ranch to ranch until it became one of the most admired tales across the Wild West. People remembered their friendship as proof that true courage is measured by honor, compassion, and the willingness to stand beside someone when the entire world turns against them.